Hi there. A very good morning and good afternoon to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me. This is Simply Stocks, and I'm live with this live podcast with you on this Sunday afternoon. And hopefully, all of you are doing well and getting the notification for this live, you can say, YouTube session that I would be hosting today. Today, I would like to talk to you about one of the queries that have come in from my patron members. And this query relates to some sectoral churn. And is there a way to find out whether the churn is taking place or not? So we'll discuss about that. I'll also answer your queries. So let more people join in. Let more number of people join in, and then you will. Then we'll talk about it in detail. So I think the YouTube itself is not sending notification at the moment. We'll check with them later on as to why this is happening. Uh, but uh, but we'll talk about this. And yes, one of my members, Mr. Amit Saurav, who's on live right now as well, asked about this. That there is a churn that takes place, and currently that is taking place with respect to IT and pharma and people moving towards reality and reality stocks, etc. So, is there a way to gauge that early and make money from it? So, the answer is yes and no, and we'll discuss about that. Plus, we'll discuss about the markets and the new RBI norms. So, hopefully, you have gone through the video, the last video that I have put up, those who are on Patreon. And I'm hoping that from this week onwards, normal services resume and you all can easily subscribe to that membership. Kindly talk to the so let's tackle this first. So kindly talk to your bank or the credit card company, and you would have to go through one more procedure to allow the payment to Patreon, and only then your payment to Patreon will be given sanction, and you'll be able to do that. There's no problem with your credit card with which you were paying earlier, but what you need to do is give another authorization, and that authorization need to be provided by every user from the 1st of October. So if you give that authorization, most probably you'll be able to pay me monthly on you can say continuous basis. So talk to your bank and the credit card company, and you'll be able to resolve that. Okay. The second point I want to talk about here is about the market. So the markets are jittery, the large caps, and as expected, there is some sort of a decline or a semblance of decline that we are seeing. Probably we'll see more. I think 17,000 is a strong support, so probably 400-500 point more decline. And if you get any levels below 17,000, 16,700, something like that, if those levels come around, and then probably it's better to probably buy into the stocks, get into the stocks that you are always looking to buy into, and probably those will be the levels of strong support. So 17,000 to 16,800 as strong support levels, which you can look forward to, and then buy big onto long term stocks that we all talk about. Now I have started with the YouTube membership, so you can join through the join button as well. So I have described everything in that video. So if you people want to join with all the benefits that the patron members are getting, you can definitely join on the YouTube membership. I put up my first, you can say, short-term trade call to the members. I have more than a dozen members already, and I intend that although I expect that a lot of more members would get in over the next week 10 days. So those who have not got the membership yet or don't know about it, so the membership have started from the 1st of October. So you can take that membership through Google Pay, through your bank account, through UPI payment, as well as through credit card. So a lot many, you can say, options for you, a lot of options for you, from which to take the membership. So kindly take that, and hopefully we can build a larger, you can say, family of investors who invest into good quality companies and make money. So that's my call. My first live session for members only would be on Friday evening. I'll let you know the time. It will be between 9 and 9:30 p.m. So hopefully that would go well. So those are members only live sessions that will take up every Friday. All right. So kindly do become a member, support me on Patreon, or subscribe to my channel, as well as hit the bell icon so you can get my video straight away when I post it. All right. So now coming to the point that Mr. Saurav had asked earlier. So see, it is if you can put in the hours, and if you can spend some time with the market, and if you have spent 2 3 years 4 years with the market, you'll be able to understand that it is possible to gauge the shift in momentum in any sector, or there is you can say sector rotation that goes on. So how does it begin? First of all, what happens is that from the sector where the move is really happening, say IT, for example, IT was big 2 3 weeks back and everything was moving up and making new highs, etc. You need to check how many stocks, when you think that the market is, or that sector is doing extremely well, very well, and everybody is going for it. Just have a look at how many stocks made 52-week high that day in that sector, and you can pick the first 20 30 stocks. Don't look at maybe, say, 400 300 stocks in that sector. Pick up the first 20 25 stocks and see how many of those made new highs, and then every day have a look at whether that number is increasing or decreasing, or whether that number has got to a saturation level. That is one way of finding out as to whether a peak is being made in a sector on a short term basis or not. Now, if say out of those 25 stocks, say 80%, 70 to 80% of them are making new highs, that means that sector is on the verge of, you can say, peaking out on the short run. And when it over 80%, between 80 to 90% of those stocks, say you pick up the first 25 stocks, 90% of those is around 20 of those 20 to 22 stocks. If 22 stocks make new highs and keep on making highs, the day it changes, it becomes from 20 to 23 to around 20 and 19. Just look at which sector is cropping up now. So that's why I'm saying that you need to put in the hours to find out whether which sector is going up. So it is easier to find out which sector is topping out for the moment and there is sector rotation or not, but it is extremely difficult to find out which sector will move up next. The way to know about it is not to jump to any conclusion and shift immediately to any sector, but to do first thing, that is to book profits from the sector that has already run up, say IT. So you can book profits when around 22 of your 25 stocks have made 52-week highs, and then sit back and let the sector rotation takes place, and you will know it through news channels, through a little bit of, you can say, research on business, you can say, business sites, as to Indian business sites, as to which sector is now getting the momentum, say reality sector. And we came to know about it when Godrej Properties, Soba Developers, Prestige Estate were doing well. So when they started to do extremely well, say, when I say extremely well, means 8 to 20% move, 8%, 12%, 15% move, couple of days. That really tells you that the sector rotation has taken place from IT to the real estate sector. And even at that point of time, you could take a trade in any of those, you can say, real estate picks, and probably make money on it over a 2 3 month basis, because whenever this sort of sector rotation takes place, it normally happens for around 5 weeks to 3 months. So it is between 5 to 15 weeks is that period. And then it is not that IT or pharma or the previous sector which has gone up will not perform. uh, they will come back into fashion. In fact, I'll tell you why I don't look at sector rotation at all and why I look at something else. I don't go by that. And I have a different, you can say, take on this sector rotation thing. But anyways, if somebody wants to do that, this is one way of finding out about it. But the biggest problem happens is when you are able to sell the stock at highs from, say, a previous sector like IT. It is difficult to find out which sector is moving higher. And once you have found out, it is very difficult to take a position because the stocks have moved up much higher. So then you have to take a bigger risk because your margin of safety is less. And exactly from this point, what I do is I do not shift at all. So basically, I take trades based on stock movements and not on sector movements. So if a stock, even in a sector that has already performed and may not perform for a week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, is doing well, is consolidating, I look at consolidations in stock to buy into. And I look at I love stocks which can which do not move immediately but will move, and it looks like they will move, say, after a week or 10 days, and I build up positions there, and then the move happens after 2 weeks or so. So what I want to say here is that even if you shift from IT and all those top notch mid cap IT companies, you never know how long that sector rotation would work. You never know whether IT and real estate might both do well, and might do compete well with each other, because IT is in a bull run of its own. Similarly, pharma, if 2 or 3 good news comes around with US FDA, etc., in the pharmaceutical sector, that sector and good stocks from those from that sector, stocks which are good, keep on performing. So you need to take a stock specific view. At least that's what I do. I take stock specific view on everything, and then take a call rather than looking at a sectoral churn or anything that is happening. For somebody who is doing, say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks trading, yes, that could help. But if you take a 3 4 month view, then even looking at very strong stocks which have consolidated and is about to show a breakout, that is easier to do. And then wait it out for 3 months. Hopefully, you'll make the money inside those 3 months, maybe in 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So that's the way I look at things rather than looking at sectors. For example, I'm bullish at the moment in the cement sector. For the next 3 4 months, we all know that post the monsoon season, the winter season is pretty good for the cement sector and construction sector, so they can produce good numbers. Now I look at some of the charts. I've given one cement pick already to the YouTube members and to the Patreon members today. So won't like to go in detail with specific stocks, but the sector itself looks pretty good. So then you look at stocks. Plus, I'm very positive on this year's Diwali and the festive sales, etc. So many of the consumer electronics, consumer durable, you can say kitchen accessories, home improvement segments, so will continue to do well, and they will perform. And then later on, say, if you take a 1 year view or a 9 month view, then I have talked about it in my YouTube sessions earlier, that AC segment or AC companies or companies which are related to summer season may do extremely well this time around after 2 washed out summers. So I normally take positions based on what stocks specifically can do depending on numbers, rather than looking at the sectoral trend, because it is extremely difficult. So I've given one way, but that doesn't mean that you will make money by churning out. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that when you sell a stock, yes, you'll be able to make money there because you have bought those stocks earlier and at lower levels. But then to shift into a new sector, you never know. The sector churn may again happen, and IT and pharma itself may continue to do well after a week or 10 days. So it is extremely difficult to hop around, you can say, stocks or sectors and make good amount of money. It is better to probably take a longer term trade, stock specific. All right. So that's my call on that query from Mr. Saurabh. So, uh, Coming back to another point I want to make here. So we are seeing that most of the vaccination that is going on, the vaccination is going on at a very good pace. I believe that the market may not fall a lot, but there could be some amount of consolidation that takes place, and that's why I believe that 17,000 to 18,000 could be a broader range for the next 5 6 months. So I don't see new highs being broken. I don't see a lot of selling, but in that consolidation, I think mid cap and small caps will start performing again. And in those mid cap and small caps, you need to look at many of those, you can say, manufacturing companies. Many of those, even auto ancillaries, etc., would continue to do well. And if you really want to know stocks specifically where I'm bullish on, what calls I can give, and on short term which stocks I'm bullish on, get onto YouTube. A lot of you were telling about the problems with the credit card payment, and Patreon requires international credit card, etc. So I'm hoping that more than a Patreon, a lot of members on YouTube would get in, become a member there. So kindly do become a member. There will be short-term trades there for you, specifically made stock specific trades for you there, along with long-term trades. Also, one long-term pick will also be there. So if you want specifically which stocks I'm very bullish on for the next 6 months, get onto the membership, hit that join button, and join the membership. All right, so I'm ready to answer your queries. Kindly use the super chat, super sticker feature that will help me grow the channel. That will help you also ask me questions and eke out answers in greater detail. All right. The questions coming up, sectors for the 2022. Difficult to say, but I think autos may do well. I think sectors which are not performing now may do extremely well. I'm bullish on autos from the second half of 2022. So that I can say. Dixon has run up a bit. I think 4,200, 4,300 good levels to buy. I'm very positive on Dixon from a 1 or 2 years time frame. Hindustan Foods is a portfolio kind of a stock. It has already gone up 4x. So better to buy on declines and take a call on Hindustan Foods then. But if you don't have a 2 3 year view, don't buy into it. Pranshu, thanks for your contribution. Uh, uh, Creating own platform. Well, see, I can do that, but it will take. See, there are issues with creating own platform. So I have received that. You can say idea from a lot of members. So just want to explain to you, since I am not a member of NSE and BSC, I don't want to start an official website and continue working through it. I cannot do that, and that's why I'm not doing it. What I am doing here is just for educational purposes, and somebody who wants a little bit of more knowledge can join the membership, etc. I may do it once I clear the exams, etc., which I'm preparing for. That's why I don't have a platform or a website, website or a different, you can say, platform completely from YouTube or Patreon. What I may suggest is that you take the membership for a month and let's see how it goes, and then probably you can always delete that membership by the end of the month on the 29th or 30th. If you don't do that, you'll be billed again on the first of or the second of every month. So kindly take that on note. But the only reason I began with this YouTube membership is for you all, is for all the people who kept on telling me that Patreon is very difficult. It is very difficult to pay online in such a manner through a credit card. Many of you don't have it, so you have it. You now have it on YouTube, the same kind of features. In fact, you get extra with the live sessions, and probably if going forward I put up members exclusive videos, it would be there on YouTube. So join this bandwagon here. It is slightly expensive, I can understand, and this was one of the reasons why I did not begin with any membership on YouTube, because it is expensive for you. Although I get the same, you can say, payment, YouTube and taxes is because of the reasons why it is slightly expensive. But you will get a lot from it. Hopefully, my whole honest opinion and experience would be given to you exclusively for members. So this is the biggest reasons I've started with it. If I don't get a lot of members here over the next 2 months, I might discontinue with it. So that is what I want to say, so that people may understand that this is not because of the money thing that I wanted to do this. This is basically I wanted to do because many of you don't have a credit card, or those who do have it don't have an international credit card, or and then the third point, don't those who have both the things and they are not able to pay. And there are a lot of issues that are happening with Patreon, that people are not able to pay. Hopefully they'll be able to pay here on YouTube. So looking forward to a bigger, you can say, family on YouTube with members here. All right, so a lot of super chats have come in, three, four super chats. So let me just have a look as to what all has been happening. So, all right, Bharat, thanks for your contribution. Maruti, very positive, have been positive earlier. People have asked me queries on Patreon. People have asked me queries on YouTube, that okay, why are you going for Maruti when Maruti is losing market share, this, that, and so on and so forth. See, Maruti is from 6500 to 7300 and now down to 7100. Good levels to buy, 6600 strong support. I am still bullish that over the next 2 years it can give you 50%. I see 10,000 over the next 2 years on Maruti. I see big move in autos from next year. You have to just wait it out for 2 quarters. I think when this pandemic subsides completely, and hopefully it will take the government and people are doing extremely well to get vaccinated. Probably in 6 months' time, there'll be a lot of vaccination. I think Maruti will perform much better. So it's a buy at these levels. Oritra, thanks for your contribution. When will Buildersoft perform? I'm 8% down. See, if you have the money, buy more at 390. Very positive. There is a sectoral shift, as I'm talking about, from IT to reality. It may continue for a month, month and a half, and then IT will come back into focus once the results come out. So hopefully from November onwards, I see IT performing, and that's why I'm holding on to my IT pick, which was Happiest Minds. I have that in my portfolio. Uh, so I'm bullish on it. Birlasoft, other, you can say, mid cap IT companies, they will all perform. Remember that Birlasoft has done exceedingly well from 230 to 40 levels. So there comes a point where it consolidates. All I am saying is that downside is limited in the stock. All right. Thanks a lot, Anand, for your contribution. Your view on Lux Industries as FII and DII ownership has gone up. See, I'm not against buying, you can say, the second in the family and all. But I would still say if you want to buy something in this, you can say, industry or sector, then a page is one to look at. Lux can perform well. I think it has a strong support around 34, 3500. I think it can continue to perform well. But if you ask me from a 2, 3 year point of view, I think Page can do extremely well as well if Lux is doing well. Right. Let's see if there are any other queries as such. Not at the moment. So, all right. SRF at current market price. See, I'm not that very positive about the chemical sector, except for a few of them. So I won't say that you buy something like an SRF or Deepak Nitrite at these levels. So there's a query on Deepak Nitrite as well. A query was coming in for SHIL. I think any level below 400 is a very good buy on SHIL. It is extremely undervalued. I've talked about it earlier as well. A disclaimer, I have the stock. Uh, I see doubling of the stock over the next 18 months. The valuation is extremely attractive. 18 times forward earnings is what it is trading at. And the valuation will keep, if you look at 2, 3 years down the line, it is extremely attractive at these levels. Camps look good at 2900, 2800. There's strong support at 2750 if you can buy with that sort of a stop loss. See, all these companies will consolidate for a while. See, all these You can say real estate and cement companies may do well for a couple of months, and then these companies like CAMS and Birla Soft, etc., will perform. I would say Lupin, if you have it at lower levels, if you have it from 700, 800 levels, then hold. If you don't have it from those levels, then do not, you can say, hold on to the stock. I think mid cap pharma, whenever the move comes in, then mid cap pharma will do well rather than large cap, similar to what is happening in mid cap IT. All right. Thanks a lot, Sri Vignesh, for your contribution. I think it can. I think Titan will continue to excel. There have been doubts about Titan earlier as well. I mean, for the last 2 decades, people are doubting Titan because of its valuation. The debt has increased slightly, but I think the performance, in fact, will become better because the gold selling of gold will increase. And tell me if I'm wrong. Once weddings increase, number of people in wedding increase, etc. I think it's a very good opening up trade even from these levels. Okay. FL is a, if you are risk if you're risk taking, if you can take a little bit of risk with a deeper stop loss of 4700 can be bought. But what I can say is that you can look at other IT companies or other new age technology companies. FL is having issues with you can say the clients, although the stock is very reasonably priced at the moment compared to what it was say 2 years, one or 1.5 years back. All right. Whirlpool looks good. Whirlpool on any declines to 2100 is a good buy. I think Whirlpool is gearing up for a huge move. I don't know when it will happen, but a move of something like 80 to 100% move in very quick time that could happen. I would say avoid Asian Granite, or not the best of the company in the industry. That's my call there. I think Polycab. I would still say Polycab for 3 years. Polycab's performance in terms of their business, in terms of their products, and the way they have gained market share is pretty good compared to Havells. Okay. CG Consumer is also good with a 10-15% stop loss, 10 to 12% stop loss. You can buy, but I think companies like SHIL, Polycab, etc., even Acrysil and so on and so forth may just continue to perform very well. Ultramarine, I don't know for long term. For short term, with the stop loss, you can buy, but I am not that sure about long term prospects for Ultramarine. Say L&T Infotech and Tata Elxsi, both are very good buys. Even at these levels, if you have a 3 year view, I think they can double in 3 years. Even from these levels, these two companies can double or close to double, give 70-80% return in 3 years. So that's the call. Disclaimers apply, but very positive on both. Asian Paints has come to attractive levels. There are talks of, you can say, problems with chip shortage, with shortage of raw material, this and that, oil, and so on and so forth. The only thing I can say is buy Asian Paints below 3100 if you get a chance. You will not get a chance again for a year or so. So it gives you opportunity once in a year with these kind of falls. 3100, 3000 would be good levels to buy. Avoid Sport King. Look at larger companies. That would be my call. Yes, NBCC very positive. If you're looking at real estate sector, a lot of real estate companies have gone up. NBCC has not done that. 48 to 45 good levels to accumulate NBCC. Relaxo is slightly overvalued, Sri Vignesh. Thanks for your contribution. I would say avoid it. I think Bata is still undervalued. Once things open up, Bata will perform well once schools open up. So these are good times on declines to buy into Bata. All right. Gotham, I don't know what is your say thesis or number of you can say years you can hold on to it. The issue with Frontier Springs I have described to the patron members, and probably I can describe here the issue that happened to me when I have exited the stock. When I did that is the promoter salary. That's the only issue. Otherwise, the company is doing well and everything is well, but promoter is taking a lot of salary compared to the revenue that they are doing. So you can look at the their annual report and then have a look. That is the only concern. This it didn't give me a good feeling. Plus I needed money for some work, etc. So I had to take out money from something. I cannot sell other stocks, and those on YouTube who have become members are able to see my portfolio. So they would concur that the stocks that I'm holding at the moment are much better in pedigree compared to Frontier Springs, and so I did not sell those or any of those and exited Frontier. So you can probably hold on. You can have 5% holding in such stocks. I'm not saying that the promoter is bad or something like that. So hold, but have around 5 to 6% of total portfolio, and that's just about it. HLE glass coat, in my opinion, is expensive. If you have it from lower levels, say 2000, 2500, 2300, good to hold it. Don't buy at these valuations. Sumitomo Chemicals is a good stock that can give you 17 to 20%. Won't I mean it is not a stock that could really go multi-bagger from here. Avoid Usha Martin. That's my call. A CAM's positive. I've already talked about it. I think these levels are attractive to buy, but you should have patience about it. Yes, you can book profits in IRCTC. I mean, after split, it will fall a bit. You can buy then, but I think overall, on a long term basis, it looks pretty good. Sandesh, thanks for your contribution. Okay. Loris Lab, very attractive at 600, 610. In fact, if I had money separately, I would have bought into Loris Labs from a long term point of view. I think around 600, 620, good levels to buy Loris Lab. All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot for being online. Kindly do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you get my videos straight away when I post it. And if you want in-depth replies to your messages, if you want short-term calls, if you want long-term picks, if you want to see my portfolio, any changes I make to my portfolio, if you want to have a look at a watch list of 25 stocks, which I'm very bullish on for short term. Everything is on the YouTube membership. Kindly hit the join button and join membership. It's all for you that I put up here. Patreon members are already getting benefited from it. So join the membership there and I'll be answering in detail all your queries. Thank you. Thanks a lot.